Grand Laura on the road again, but actually in the air again. A horrific accident paralyzes the entire Laura family farms in minutes. The family patriarch is critically injured at the scene. Production is halted and the crop contract is in jeopardy. In less than 48 hours, Laura Wilson, once hailed as a symbol of a new generation of farmers, is faced with the choice of survival for her family and her 5-generation business. Everything that was built on tradition, technology, and trust is now put to the ultimate test. And it is at this moment that the full truth about Laura Wilson's true strength begins to emerge. In March 2024, a serious work accident occurred at the equipment repair facility of Laura Family Farms, one of the most prominent family farms in Hamilton County, Nebraska. While inspecting the operation of the mechanized harvesting system, Cale Carlson, founder of Lee AAD Farms and the farm's main technical pillar, had a serious accident with a combine harvester. The incident left him with serious physical injuries, long-term disability, and required months of rehabilitation at the Grand Island Medical Center. The impact of the incident extended beyond the family and into the entire Laura Family Farms production structure. At the time, the farm was in the midst of preparing for the spring planting season, a pivotal time for large-scale agricultural production with a total operating area of over 2,000 acres, mainly growing corn and soybeans combined with livestock and poultry. The workload became overwhelming when Mr. Cale's technical, operational, and organizational roles could not be replaced in a short time. Laura Wilson and her husband Grant Wilson immediately took over the entire production coordination, including the land left by her father and grandfather, as well as the operating leases from local partners. In a midterm production update report presented by Laura to the private investment community in May 2024, she noted that early season yields were down more than 18% compared to the same period last year, partly due to technical disruptions and changes in personnel procedures. Several cooperative agreements for seed supply, machinery maintenance, and product distribution on a deferred payment basis were also suspended or adjusted following this event. The incident occurred during a period of intense production stress, forcing us to reassess the entire farm organization system, said Laura Wilson in a speech at the Midwest Agricultural Conference in June. Every part of the farm must operate precisely and on schedule. When a key link is lost, the system must change. She also emphasized that the incident is a wake-up call for the importance of safety standards in the agricultural industry, which still operates with a high rate of mechanization, but lacks uniformity and training and equipment maintenance. The farm's prolonged silence in the second quarter of 2024 has created pressure on stakeholders, including the community that follows Laura's agricultural education and media activities. In many industry forums, the incident has been viewed as one of the typical accidents of technical risks in the large-scale family farming model. The Midwest A Chronicle in July noted, Laura Family Farms is not only a production unit, but also an inspirational model. The work accident here highlights the urgent need for operational standardization, especially when the farm operates on an integrated family model. At the same time, Laura Wilson made her first official statement about the incident at a meeting with local agricultural organizations in Hamilton County. In her speech, she asserted, "My family is going through the most difficult period since our founding, but instead of stopping, we are working to turn this painful experience into an improved system to prevent similar incidents from happening in the future." After the accident, Laura Family Farms began restructuring its operations, increasing the role of independent mechanical contractors and outside farm equipment maintenance instead of having family members directly take on the responsibility. In parallel, internal training activities on occupational safety, emergency procedures, and routine equipment maintenance were widely implemented with the supervision of state-level professional organizations. Carlson Farms was founded in 1910 in Marquette, Nebraska by Laura Wilson's great-grandfather, a Swedish immigrant who came to America in the early 20th century in search of stable living conditions and farmland. Over the course of 5 generations, the farm has expanded from a few dozen acres to more than 2,000 acres, becoming one of the most iconic examples of family farming in the Midwest. With an ecosystem that combines corn, soybeans, cattle, and mechanized farming, Laura Wilson, born Laura Carlson, is the oldest of 5 children. Her father, Cale Carlson, is a 4th-generation full-time Carlson farmer and the first in the family to incorporate digital media and public education into their farming operation. Her mother, Megan Nelson Carlson, coordinates the logistics and internal management of the farm. Laura's siblings, Ethan, Amanda, Adam, and David have been involved in seasonal tasks over the years, from soil preparation to irrigation. As a teenager, Laura Wilson was exposed to the decentralized small business farming system. At age 13, she began managing her own beef cattle herd with independent funding and reporting to her father. The hands-on learning by doing training model that runs through the family is an important part of Carlson Farms' legacy thinking. After completing high school at Nebraska Christian Schools, Laura attended Southeast Community College, majoring in business administration, graduating in 2019. She enrolled in the University of Nebraska-Lincoln to pursue a Bachelor of Applied Science but decided to take a break to focus on growing her farm and expanding her agribusiness in 2020. This decision comes as the family begins to gradually transfer assets and management responsibilities to the next generation. Before the technical problems in early 2024, Laura Wilson was considered a key player in Carlson Farms' generational restructuring plan. She was primarily responsible for operating the 160-acre farm leased from her father and grandfather, a portion of the main farm's eastern farming area, equipped with underground irrigation and state-of-the-art soil treatment processes that had been used as a demonstration unit at state-level agricultural technology conferences. Carlson Farms is still legally owned by Cale Carlson as it was before the accident. Nevertheless, internal power of attorney documents allow Laura and Grant Wilson, her husband, and an agricultural engineer to run all operations, sign contracts, and take out equipment loans. The transfer of responsibility is not a one-time event, but a series of planned phases from 2020 to 2025, following a succession plan for capital and human resources. The context of multi-generational families living and working on the same land creates a unique stability, but also comes with internal pressures related to roles, decision-making power, and development direction. According to Laura in an article on her personal website in late 2023, coordinating between the traditional model of the parents' generation and the technology-optimized thinking of the younger generation is one of the biggest challenges in modernizing family farming. This context sets the stage for the entire upheaval that follows the 2024 accident. When one of the system's key pillars fails, the ripple effect not only impacts productivity, but also puts the entire family organizational model in a state of sustainability challenge, the rise of an agricultural icon. Since 2020, Laura Wilson has become one of the leading faces, representing a generation of farmers integrating digital media into production and community education. In the context of the U.S. agricultural industry under great pressure for transparency, sustainability, and supply chain efficiency, the emergence of individuals who can convey professional content to the public in a visual way is considered a necessary trend. Laura is one of the few people who operate a real farm model and directly participate in the production of agricultural content. Laura Farms, which she founded in April 2020, focuses on topics related to corn and soybean farming in the Midwest, operating farm machinery, handling basic techniques, and sharing practical experiences in farm management. In just 12 months, the channel has attracted hundreds of thousands of followers, mostly from major agricultural states such as Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Ohio, and South Dakota. The content is produced in a direct way, integrating technical information, seasonal reports, and explaining specialized terms, making it accessible to non-professional viewers. By the end of 2023, Laura Wilson's total views across her platforms were close to 1 billion, with high engagement rates from the 25-44 age group, particularly individuals who own or manage small and medium-sized farms. In addition to her main channel, she operates an ancillary media system including Instagram X, formerly Twitter, an in-depth blog, and a paid online membership system. Through this platform, followers can access additional professional materials, in-depth analysis videos, and seasonal newsletters. Her success in delivering practical content has led to Laura Wilson serving as an informal advisor to numerous local and state agricultural education initiatives. She has consulted on several innovative agricultural training programs, collaborated with Nebraska community colleges, and hosted webinars with several regional youth farmer groups. She has also been an official spokesperson for several community communications campaigns sponsored by seed and fertilizer companies. Notably, a digital communications program with Pioneer Seeds beginning in 2022. At regional agricultural fairs like Husker Harvest Days, Laura Wilson appears as a guest speaker on her experience transitioning her farm from traditional to digital. Much of her presentation focuses on building a personal brand based on real production, managing the costs of self-produced media, and leveraging media to create additional income streams. Although the main activity is still agricultural production, Laura's model is considered a typical example of the shifting role of farmers in the digital age. In addition to directly creating agricultural products, farm operators also play the role of community educators, content creators, and product marketers. In an analytical article in AGI Future Review in early 2024, Laura's model was classified as an agri-media hybrid, a term used to refer to farms that operate a combination of real agriculture and educational media. Laura Wilson's ability to balance technical expertise with a people-oriented approach has made her a shining example of the new generation of Midwestern farmers, landowners, data operators, and those who understand their role in the broader value chain. Integrating media into production not only creates additional revenue streams, but also improves workforce coordination, attracts collaborative investment, and enhances competitiveness in the regional agricultural supply chain. Faith in the Storm. The Laura Wilson family is recognized as one of the few organizations in the Midwest to maintain the traditional family farming model while incorporating modern management methods to adapt to the production requirements of a highly competitive environment. When the labor crisis occurred in early 2024, the internal support structure and community ties surrounding Carlson Farms quickly became a human, spiritual, and financial anchor. Cale Carlson, the fourth-generation leader of the farm, was known locally not only for his production, but also for his active involvement in Hamilton County's civic activities. His accident while operating equipment forced the entire family to reassess their ability to maintain operations amid a sudden change in management and staffing. During Mr. Cale's lengthy recovery, family members adjusted their individual plans to maintain a steady workforce on the farm. Laura's husband, Grant Wilson, took direct responsibility for crop cultivation and quality control. Laura's siblings took time off from school or out-of-state work to return to help run and oversee the property. Megan Nelson Carlson, Laura's mother, played a key role in organizing logistics, managing documentation, and liaising with medical, mechanical, and financial service providers. In mid-2024, she began implementing a home care shift system that combines semi-intensive rehabilitation programs supported by the Nebraska Farmers Fund and several community health organizations. On the community side, local government and farmer groups have implemented several short-term support initiatives for Laura family farms, including temporary grants to maintain seasonal hired labor, partial equipment tax rebates, and disaster recovery handouts. A network of farmers around the Marquette area has agreed to share some of their machinery and storage resources in a rotating partnership, helping the farm avoid major mid-year disruptions. Local religious organizations also played an important role in providing emotional support to the Wilson family. Hamilton Catholic Church, where the family regularly attended, organized community support programs, internal fundraising, and provided post-crisis counseling for members affected by the work accident. In an October 2024 newsletter, the local ministry emphasized, "The Wilson family is a shining example of collective resilience based on faith and community responsibility." Since September 2024, Laura Wilson and several colleagues have implemented a community support group model for agricultural production households that have experienced key personnel events, to exchange experiences, share resources, and provide short-term financial and technical guidance. The group operates on a voluntary basis with more than 300 online participants at the end of the year. In addition to the goal of restoring production, the social and emotional support ecosystem that is forming around Laura family farms creates a more sustainable structure than before the incident, with many production units in the region falling into a state of inability to reoperate when faced with similar risks. The multi-component coordinated response model at Laura family farms is being included in many independent research units as a strategic reference in family farm operation manuals. Reborn from the ashes starting in the first quarter of 2025. The operations system at Laura Family Farms will enter a period of comprehensive adjustment to adapt to the changing context of core personnel and new requirements for occupational safety. Based on internal assessments and recommendations from state-level agricultural organizations, the Wilson family will implement a series of farm restructuring solutions to improve operational standards, clearly separate management technical communication roles, and integrate technology solutions according to the precision agriculture model. Grant Wilson takes on the role of technical executive, focusing on mechanized operations, monitoring machinery systems, and taking responsibility for routine maintenance procedures. Laura Wilson takes on the overall coordination and communications role and directly oversees internal training related to production safety and sustainable farming practices. In the 2025 planning documents, the farm's Human Resources Department is expanded to include 2 mechanical technicians and a crop data analyst, increasing the ability to respond to unexpected situations and reducing the risk of personal dependence. In February 2025, the AgriSafe Hamilton program was officially launched under the OPACs of Laura Wilson in collaboration with 3 local nonprofit organizations and several businesses in the agricultural equipment industry. The program includes a series of seminars, field training classes, and technical manuals related to equipment maintenance, safe operation, emergency response, and first aid in agricultural production environments. More than 1,000 people participated in the first 3 months of implementation, including many young farmers, high school students majoring in engineering and maintenance teams on small farms in the area in parallel with its community outreach efforts. Laura Family Farms has expanded its collaboration with research organizations to integrate satellite and ground-based sensor data into its crop inspection process. A pilot project with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and a regional agricultural technology company focuses on automating soil analysis, pest prediction, and real-time machine performance measurement. The data collected is used to develop operational risk metrics that create internal safety maps that help manage traffic flows, high-risk areas, and when routine inspections are required. In May 2025, the farm published a paper called Risk Management and Community Integration in Family-Owned Farms, which summarizes Laura Family Farms' crisis response experience and post-ac recovery model. The paper was distributed to more than 30 agricultural training organizations and community development councils in the Midwest. The main content revolves around technical risk management, building a multi-layered support chain, family, community, organization, and reestablishing a highly stable production process. Many institutions include this paper in their supplementary programs for students majoring in agricultural enterprise and resource management. Notably, Laura Wilson was invited to join the United States Department of Agriculture USDA Task Force on modernizing small and medium-sized farm management for the period 2025-2027. Her role on the task force focuses on a group of solutions to non-financial risks in the production environment, especially issues related to worker health, post-accident psychology, and maintaining management capacity in conditions of sudden change. From a family-based agricultural production unit, Laura Family Farms has evolved into a comprehensive multifunctional model integrating production, education, and active participation in shaping regional agricultural policy. This transformation did not occur by chance, but as a result of strategic adaptation in the face of adversity, guided by a strong internal structure and reinforced by a deeply rooted connection with the local community. The case of Laura Wilson now stands as a clear example of how a production unit can not only recover from a severe operational crisis, but emerge stronger when there is a timely and coordinated response plan, clearly defined roles and responsibilities, and consistent support networks across multiple layers of the agricultural ecosystem. From a professional and policymaking standpoint, this model reflects a scalable and responsive approach applicable to similar agricultural zones where geographic, demographic, and labor conditions demand both resilience and agility. The long-term trajectory of Laura Family Farms demonstrates the potential of integrated community-centered strategies to ensure continuity, stability, and innovation in rural agricultural development. If you are interested in real stories about agriculture, people, and transformation in a peaceful but challenging land, don't forget to share this video to those who may need to hear this story. Subscribe to our channel to follow the next in-depth content, and leave a comment with your own perspective on the journey. Just now.